Bradley, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good to see you. You're looking good. Looking nice and fit.
I've got to be fitter now that I'm getting older.
So what? Because we're the same age.
We're the same age,
32 this year.
Yeah, next year, July.
Crazy. Oh yeah, the next year.
Yeah, we're not, end of the year's not here yet.
That's
mate.
true. That's true. Far out, man. Time does fly, doesn't it? Like, you know when you sit in all those like meetings at the start of your career and they say like it goes quick.
Or retirements, when people retire early on, you're like, nah, I've still got plenty of time.
It's nuts. And then it's just, but you just on a 3-year deal. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah,
Very exciting.
Take me to 34.
3 clubs, 3 flags.
Yeah.
Like it's actually nuts, man. Like the journey that you've sort of been on from, a young 18-year-old kid coming to the draft camp, not really knowing what was going to happen, to then, fast forward, 14, 15 years later.
Coming up, yeah.
14. Fucking hell. Could you ever sort of depict this happening?
Well, to be honest, I probably, as a under 18, I didn't think I was going to get drafted, to be honest. Like, I didn't play much state footy or anything. Like, I think I played like 15 minutes for the whole tournament, and I thought maybe rookie. So, to be honest, like, I was just happy to even just make it for a year or two. And, I was lucky, like you said, lucky enough to be able to still be playing after 14 years. And, I guess when I was a bit younger, watching my brother play, and I sort of wanted to get there. And probably I definitely wasn't as talented as what he was. And, he was a high pick 3 or something. So, sort of when he got there, I wanted to make it, but didn't know if I was good enough to get there.
It's a crazy, your brother Stephen, like, for me, like, easily one of my favourite players, like, to watch, like, at his prime, like, fuck, man, he could move like no one else. Like, just,
so smooth,
he was so smooth. and like, there's so many similarities of the way you two both played the game. But what was it like sort of having him as your bro, like, coming through? Like,
yeah, it was awesome. Like my brother Stephen, if you know him, he's a pretty reserved, quiet
he's
sort
a
of
real
person.
quiet guy. That's what I've heard. Yeah, really
until you
quiet
get a couple
guy.
of cans in him.
Okay.
Then he turns into me. But yeah, I guess like when he got there, it was like, awesome. Like seeing your brother playing AFL and you being able to watch him on TV and stuff like that. But as that sort of like role models, like Stephen sort of just did his own thing. Just put his worked hard to trying to play consistent footy early days, and I don't think he missed a game for his first sort of like 100 games. He was playing every game early on, and then I guess later in his career sort of hurt with a bit of injury with soft tissue stuff. Like kept on his quads and hammies and stuff. So like when I look at that, I sort of feel sorry for him. Like he probably could have kept playing for a little bit longer. He could have even maybe been still playing. But yeah, those sort of injuries and sort of put him out of the game and wasn't able to sort of. Even when I went over there to Freo for that 3 years that we were there together, we didn't play much footy together because he was sort of injured a bit. I had 1 year where I was injured. And, but he obviously had a great career and, someone I always looked up to and loved watching him play.
Mate, I could watch his highlights for days. It was funny before we were chatting, one of the boys was asking me if I'd ever heard of the Stephen Hill rap. Have you seen this?
Mate, we used to play
what's the story about
I don't know who he is, but
there's a YouTube video. It's actually not bad.
Yeah,
like,
I think he's an Aboriginal fella from Perth, and I think he's does a few rap songs, but he made one about Stephen. We used to always play it in the gym at Freo. And Stephen's like I said, he's very quiet and reserved, and he's pretty shy. And we used to play and he used to just hate it, his head down. Like, take it off, turn it off.
If anyone hasn't heard it, we'll make sure we put it up. And big love to the rapper that is doing it. It's actually quite. It's got a good beat. It's not
I should
bad.
do a little bit at Saints as well because Royal Marshall did this like advert about Portland, where he's from.
Oh God, I've seen that one. I've seen that. Yeah.
So we chuck that on in the gym sometimes. He hates it.
Yeah, if anyone has missed that one, Royal Marshall, which Portland, that's up. I've actually been up there, man. That's because when you're a player, you do all those country clinics and stuff. We flew into Portland one day on a mini flight, and it was like. I don't know geographically where it is, but I'm pretty sure it's down like...
I think it's towards Adelaide, hey? Like along the coast.
That's what I was thinking. But it's off like the water and like... You think when ocean meets the sand, like it's like ocean meets the cliffs.
Really?
Like the water there is just nuts. Like I remember flying in and it was a real windy day. And like I'm just a flog at the most times, but like I was genuinely thinking I'm going to throw up here. Like it was the scariest, coldest place, but beautiful people. I think it's the Portland Tigers.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure who he played for.
What did Bro do? He went and did like a...
So sort of just talking about what you can do in Portland. It's like BMX riding, fishing, all this sort of stuff. About trying to get some people to come there and visit Portland.
Have you ever been talked into doing anything cringeworthy that you've got through the time?
There's definitely would have been some stuff that they've made me do, and I've had to do it. Obviously, you have to do whatever.
St Kilda haven't got a good history with this stuff too. Obviously,
I'm glad I wasn't part of that. You know, Nick Revolt when they're like singing, like I definitely wouldn't have done that. But there's been a couple of little cringe moments when you've had to, you know, do a few things.
Oh, my list is bigger than anyone's.
I remember I had to do
that.
a photo one time. My brother and that sent it to me the other day, or Sonny might have sent it to me, and like I got my arm up like this here. Yeah. And it's the worst photo of all time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good stuff. We've all been there. Don't worry about that. Mate, that's exciting. So let's, go. I suppose when we first met, actually, was at
Draft camp.
15 years ago, probably now. I was at draft camp. You were, we just met. I don't know how we met, just through people, as you do. You just have a chat.
Sitting around
talking shit. And we were catching up, and you were about to run the 2K.
3K, mate.
3K back then.
Yes, 3K back then.
Far out, which has been something that you've always been, you know, very good at. You won it that day.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, just got Will Hoskin Elliott.
There you go. And you reckon that was the biggest thing that nearly put you up in the draft?
Yeah, I reckon.
Got you picked up?
Obviously, I did pretty well at draft camp. But I think your watch helped me win it, mate. When you gave me the watch, I needed something to see like my time and my pace that I was running. And then, I think that helped me a lot. Obviously, I won that and the beep test, and then the sprint stuff I performed pretty well in too. So it's funny, actually. Hawthorn always say the reason they picked me up was I had a meeting with them the night before, the day before the beep test. And they're like, oh, what do you got to run in the beep test? And I was like, hopefully like 16. And the record was like, I think 15-3 from Jared McVeigh, so like a while before our time. And I was sort of like, oh, yeah, because I was pretty confident because the week before I did like 15-11 on like just that in WA. So, and then I was able to do 16-1 or something. And then...
Have you still got the record?
Nah, Billy Hartung beat it like a couple of years later, and then they got rid of the beep test. I think they swapped it for the yo-yo or whatever they do. And then, that's the reason why Hawthorn said they picked me up. Because
so you went into that meeting, like who was in that? Like Clarko?
I wouldn't even be able to tell you who else was there. I'm guessing Graham Wright would have been in there. Yep. I didn't speak to him after that again. So like on draft day, I'll sort of get maybe Freo got to pick me up at like pick 50 odd or whatever. And then North Melbourne was like sort of the other team, like cool rookie. So I sort of didn't know. And then like Hawthorn's first pick, it was me. I was like, oh, like geez. And I loved Hawthorn, like my Melbourne club, obviously because like Cyril and Buddy and that. So you know. Going over there, I was like, yeah, pretty excited. But yeah, it's obviously a little bit tough moving away from home. Like you get drafted Thursday, and then the Saturday I was living in Melbourne, so I was like, had to move away from family pretty quick. Mate,
it's crazy. Like I was really lucky, and a lot of like AFL players are really lucky if they're Victorian. They go to clubs, 20 minutes away from their house, and it's like nothing changes. I think the biggest thing that I never realised was how. I never probably put enough respect on players that had to move interstate and how hard that would be. Like I know for a fact, like. If I'd have done that, like I don't think I would have been able to do it. Like, it just would have been. I was a homebody. I lived at home till I was. I was lucky enough to live at home till I was probably like 25, I think, and then finally moved out a year. Then moved up to Sydney, and that was hard enough. So it's like doing it at 18.
Yeah.
Especially like WA. I've always found something with the WA boys, like. My mate Blaine was the same, Boker, so I'm not sure if you cross paths with him. It's like, it is such a beautiful place. Like, I love Perth so much, and it's so different to Victoria that it is such a different time.
Definitely.
Like,
and then when you look back at it as well, like when you're 18, you're still a little kid, like you're still so young and immature, and you don't really know anything, how to cook, clean, like do your washing, that was sort of, which was lucky though. When I moved over here, I did move in with a host family for like 2.5 years, and they made my life so easy. Yeah. So if I didn't have them, I reckon I would have struggled a lot more.
So talk us through a host family for those who have never sort of like heard about. Like, what do you do? Like, they just a couple that their kids have moved out.
Yeah. Or? So I remember when when I first moved over, they said, we got 3 host families that you can sort of choose to go with. So we'll catch up with all 3, and you pick which one you think suits you the most, and you probably you like the most, I guess, So we go out for dinner, catch up, and I caught up with this family, Jim and Kathy King, who I'm still close with to this day. They were at my house last week. I caught up with them, and pretty much that night I was like, I want to move in with them. And they had Max Bailey before me, and Taylor Duray and a couple others. So they've had a few players throughout the years, and even after me they've had maybe 4 or 5, like Connor Nash and stuff like that. So Me and Andrew Bosley. Do you remember Andrew Bosley, that tall redhead boy?
Yeah.
So me and him moved in together. He only lasted a year, but pretty much, they're part of the club, and they put their hands up to take on players, and they had 3 kids. That every now and then one of their kids will move back for a little bit, but pretty much it's just me and Andrew there for the first year. Then he moved out, and I stayed on for another year because it's so good. I had it, so lucky that they pretty much did everything for me, but also taught me how to do things and taught me a lot. And I just felt like it was like a second family for me, so it made it a bit easier being away from my mum and that. So, they're great people.
Did you get homesick through the first couple of years?
My first 6 months was probably the first 6 months was probably the hardest, especially like that bit when you're just training pre-season, there's no games or whatever, and like, meeting people. And I found that was the hardest part for me. And then sort of as I started playing footy that year, like playing VFL, sort of started to join it a bit more, and it got a bit easier. And then second year sort of got into the side and played every game. And once you're sort of in the senior team and, you sort of, playing every week, it becomes a little bit easier.
Winning.
And winning. So I really enjoyed it. And then after that, it's pretty easy for me to be here. But definitely did miss family because I've got a big family as well. I've got 4 sisters and 2 brothers. So,
right.
Yeah, big family there back home.
So what is there?
7 kids, yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
That's great.
Pretty hectic, eh?
So you got 2 yourself now. Like, can you imagine having 7?
I don't know how my mum did. And like pretty much all us are 18 months apart as well. So like mum sort of had mum had 6 kids by 28. Like, that would be pretty hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, man. One's even tough, bro.
One is tough.
7 kids by 28. Wow.
No, 6 by 28.
6 by 28, sorry.
My youngest brother is like a big gap. There's like 12 years from him to my youngest sister.
Yeah, wow. Fuck, that's amazing.
So
incredible.
Be crazy.
You were saying, we were chatting up recently in Newsom, we were talking about I think you were talking about your legacy of like what you want to leave in football and at the Saints. It's obviously been like a really good mentor for young guys coming through, young Indigenous guys coming through, for what guys before you did for yourself. Because you look at the team like heading into at Hawks at that time, like the players that you were sort of surrounding yourself with and that made you feel welcome. Like it was pretty amazing. Hey.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like, that made it easy for me as well. Like even my first year had Chance Bateman there, and then Cyril, and then Shawnee. Shawnee was like the big uncle, we called him, and he he was the one who always looked after us. So I made sure everything was easy for us, and had us around his house. We'd have barbecues and stuff like that. Just like little get-togethers like that when we're all sort of getting together, and that's what I try to do now with the boys at the club. Like there's a few, got Lance Collard, who's from Perth, Liam Henry, they both came over last year. So when they moved over, I had them live with me. So Lance lived with me for like 6 months. Liam lived with me for pretty much a whole year. Sort of just taking on that role, just looking after and make the transition a bit easier for them. And then, I'll get all the boys around like Naz, and we got Isaac Keeler, Marcus Windhager. So, we'll have like a barbecue every now and then, get all the boys around and sort of just, and I always let them know I'm always there to support them and help them in any way, and sort of be the voice for them if I need to go upstairs and ask any questions for them or whatnot. So, we've got a good group of young boys coming through there. So just awesome. Be there to sort of help them out and guide them a little bit.
Were you there with, did you miss... God, I've gone blank on his name. The Fremantle that just came from Fremantle, Liam Henry. Did you have a year with him, or was that the year you left?
I had he got drafted the year I left.
Yeah, okay. It's crazy how like this shit just works out and everyone comes together.
Yeah, I know, but I knew him before because I did a little bit of work because he used to design some like tyres and stuff for Fremantle, like Indigenous ones. So I did a couple of photos. So I knew of him. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
First year was 2013.
Yeah.
So
2012. We got drafted at the end of 2011.
Of course, sorry. So 2012 first season. 2011, 2012 first season, spending time in the VFL. Then you go 2013, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Flags.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I know. No, when I look back at it now, I'm like, geez, like that was pretty crazy. But at the time, to be honest, I didn't think I was going to play early on because of how good that team was, and no young player was really playing. But I sort of got there at a good time, as in my position. Like we had Chance Bateman retired end of my first year. Played on the wing. Clint Young left and went to Collingwood.
Yep.
And it was pretty much this Isaac, Liam Shields would be a little bit wing midfield, like he'd go pretty much anywhere, and sort of that spot sort of opened up for me, and I sort of took that opportunity. And in the first year, I sort of, as you do as a young player, pretty inconsistent, trying to find my way, and then just that second pre-season, I sort of just stepped it up and got to another level, and I was able to get into the team and sort of hold my spot over time. And obviously still had some ups and downs as well, but I'm very lucky to be a part of that team, and to be looking back at it now, I feel so lucky to be able to say that I was part of that era of Hawthorn's greatness there.
It's absolutely amazing. I want to unpack that. Obviously, there's so much there, but you say you're lucky. You obviously work really hard, and I remember at that time because we knew each other. I was watching your VFL stuff. You were obviously playing some really good footy, and sort of kicked on. Like as you said, you were sort of thinking maybe rookie, end up going like in the 30s, 33, and then playing consistent AFL footy, which was just weird because I remember still a message like ringing in my head to this day as to when like young players or young athletes or even just anyone at work listens to this in their own life. I think sometimes you can cap yourself thinking like, I didn't go pick one. I'm not going to debut. I'll debut first. I'm a rookie. I'll debut after those guys have. Yeah. And it's just not the way it works. Like once you get there, opportunities open up. You need to just be ready to fucking go and take it. And that's what you did. Like you didn't wait for an opportunity like that. You just went and you took it.
And I think as well, just like the way I train or what, like I don't have any different, like I don't pull back with it. I'm 100% all the time. It's going as hard as, like when it comes to running or whatever, like training, I'm just full ham like I would in a game, so like, which is probably helps me, being able to, coaches say train the way you want to play, and I think I do that. I've done that at a pretty consistent level throughout my career.
Talk us through, before we get into the grand final stuff, that training, always pre-season and everyone knows how good of a runner you are in game, but like to do that season after season, sometimes I was like, how do you keep backing up on these like time trials? Especially yourself and Izzy, like where did at the end of the day like won at Hawthorn?
No, Isaac won at Hawthorn. Yeah. I don't think I got him once.
Really?
Nah.
He was...
Isaac would literally just sit with you the whole way, and then the last like 200 metres he would just beat you. Like this takeoff where he just had just that little bit more in his legs than anyone else.
Because the Hawthorn run's a different one, wasn't it?
2.2. So it was like 4 laps of the outside, which is on that sort of like gravel at Waverley. But I think with the running side of things, like I'm naturally gifted at being able to run.
Yeah.
Where like early days, I reckon now I find it, I enjoy running more. So like in the off season, like early days, you do your training, you get up like that, and it's a bit of a grind. Where like I think the last 2 years, especially since Ross come back, and I really wanted to get back to playing some good footy. I thought I had a little bit of a rough sort of spot in 2022 and 2021. And then I just sort of changed my mindset in pre-season. I sort of got to, like running sort of been like a bit of a let out for me. This like I feel good doing it. Like it sets me up for the day. Like my mindset, I feel healthy. And like, throughout off season, I'll train at 6 a.m. So I'll get up early, which is another good thing, getting up early, getting out there when it's still dark and, the sun comes out as we're running. And we've got a good group, like it'll be me, Jam and Impy, Bobby. So like I train with, like I met this boxing coach, Gav, like 4 years ago, and I've sort of been working with him ever since then, and he'll get us all there to Duncan McKinnon. We'll all work together, and just like I just love running now. So like even sometimes I run like 4 or 5 times a week sometimes, and I'm doing something 6 times a week, whether like couple cross train now. I just like in the last 2 off seasons, I just work as hard as I can because I just want to be as fit as I can when I come back and be able to play footy for as long as I possibly can.
It's so good you like that, and you've found the love for it, because like I'm talking to the average Joe now, like that might be listening today, and when I finished playing sport, you don't realise how much like activity does for you and like your brain, and you said like just even the clarity in your mind, feeling good, that endorphins, like all those things that you get from being like an athlete, you take for granted when you're like in a system that you're getting paid to run, and it's like a good thing. But the last like little period, I've just been a bit stuck with like a few things, and I'm like, what, fuck this. Like I've said this a million times. Like people even joke about it. They'll laugh at me listening to this because I say it all the time. But around like running and fitness and movement of body, and like that literally got me out of like a real funk that I've been in. Like, still trying to get through a period of just like high stress, that anxiousness, clarity of mind, and like the correlation of, this is scientific, like, but the correlation of like moving your body and feeling better, like it is hard at the start, but like you've just got to get going. And, like, it's been just a non-negotiable for me now, and like, I've got a young one.
Yeah.
I don't know when this pod is going out, but I've got another one on the way, as I told you.
Yep, congrats, mate.
It's like, if not now, when? Like, when am I going to be able to bring these habits in? Because you need to prioritise your own health and running and fitness and all those things to be a better player, but also a better dad, better person, better friend, all those bits and pieces.
100%. Like, I went for like a patch like everyone does in their career, like 2022. Like, I wasn't enjoying footy. Like, I just found it hard. Like, sort of didn't want to rock up the games and stuff. Like, I was just like, I sort of had enough of it. And I guess it's this sort of like this changing a few little things, like, like even for me, Ross has been a big one because I had such a good relationship with him at Freo, and then when he came, sort of just having that person there that you can sort of lean on a little bit. So that made him coming to St Kilda's made it easy. Like, for my mindset, it sort of changed a little bit, and then I sort of started working hard, like running, because I love running, and doing those little things just to, like you said, just feel good about yourself for that day, and set yourself up and your mindset, and I find running is the best thing for me, and like it's just so good just to get out there in the fresh air, and you're just getting out there working hard, and after it's like the best feeling. The next 2 hours you just feel so good, like you feel on top of the world, and I think after footy that'll be like what I hate the weights room, so you won't see me in the gym. But
mate, I fucked my back last week. Don't go to the gym ever.
After footy, like I've always wanted to do like marathons and stuff like that. So that's something I'll definitely want to get into.
That's like it's every player has like the midlife crisis of running the marathon. That's sort of just like a rite of passage that you've got.
I'll just roll straight into it, mate. I'll roll straight into it.
The plan is to not blow out and then do it. Like just continue with good habits.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Ross, while we're on the topic, it's a massive one because we're jumping around a little bit here, but we'll just go anywhere today. But like with Hawthorn, which we'll definitely come back and speak about the 3 grannies and your highlights there. But the decision to then go home to Fremantle, time-wise, Ross was at the club then.
Yep.
What was that decision like? How did it take place? And how did the trade happen? Like, did you want to go? Did they approach you? What was the movements?
Yeah, well, I think in like 2015, I was sort of, like I said earlier, I did enjoy my time at Hawthorn, but 2015, I was sort of, 16 was it? Yeah, 16. I was sort of started to miss family a little bit, and I always wanted to play footy alongside my brother, and like I thought, there'd be a good opportunity there, but I was sort of missing family a little bit, and I was like, I sort of wanted to get back home and play footy, and and it was good because Hawthorn was so good with it. I told him early on in the season, like maybe around 4 or 5, and Clarko was like, "Yep, no worries, like we'll help you get it done."
Really? So you've been like those honest conversations, just been like, "Look, like, this is what I'm thinking next year."
Yeah, like I remember him and Chris Fagan sat me down, and they were like, "Yeah, if that's what you want to do, we'll help you get there." And like it was very smooth, and even like I remember the best and fairest, like Clarko pretty much said like a thank you message for me at the best and fairest was, a little bit emotional, like, but that's how good they were about the situation. And then, went back home, played footy alongside my brother. One of the best things as well, even like Michael Walters, like our relationship, like he's like a brother to me, like we speak all the time. And that's one of the things I love most about going back there and, building that relationship. And
did you know him before?
Yeah, obviously he got drafted with like my brother and that, so I've known him for a long time. And then, my partner's from Melbourne, so it's a little bit difficult for her, like moving away, like it was for me. But like she didn't have any friends really over there, and it is harder. And for me, I find I'm more of a people person, so I can sort of get along with anyone. I was a bit older, and I was sort of happy to get back over here and make it a little bit easier on her. And and then that opportunity opened up with St Kilda, and obviously I still had a couple of years on my contract at Freo, but that sort of doesn't matter these days. And then the opportunity sort of opened up, and a manager was talking, and sort of got that done. And so I had the 3 years there with Ross, and then Ross got sacked the week before the last round. So Ross was out the door. There was no coach or whatever. So that was sort of a little bit easier.
And then that's when you left, when Ross left?
Yeah. So we left the same year. and then obviously got the St Kilda and then sort of reconnected 2
Crazy.
years ago now. So
What's your time reflecting on the Fremantle of that journey now? Like, is it a bit of a blur looking back, or is it sort of
a little bit of a blur? But
Yeah.
I'll play my best footy there.
Yeah.
to be honest.
You played great footy everywhere. But
Yeah, but like I won a best and fairest
Yeah.
there my first year, and 2019 was probably my best season. But Fifey won the Brownlee,
Yeah.
so we're just behind him, me and
Yeah,
Sonny.
yeah.
You know, but like we had a pretty decent year. Like, I think we finished maybe 9th or 10th, but like that was my most consistent year. Like so I did play some good footy over there, which is nice. And playing in front of family all the time and seeing them. Like, you know, it was good to be back there, but I definitely love Melbourne, and I don't think I'll be leaving here.
Yeah. What about the and sorry if it's asking too much, but the then going back to St Kilda, how did that sort of take place? Was that more of a family decision with your partner, Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
So
Yeah.
Sam was like, look, I want to
She's fine,
ideally
yeah.
we want to get our family and finish back in Melbourne,
Yeah.
closer to family. Like,
Yeah.
how do we make it work? Did any other clubs sort of go around, or was it mainly always going to be St Kilda?
Gold Coast is but like, obviously we didn't want to go to Gold Coast because we
not
wanted to
near
come to
Melbourne,
Melbourne. Yeah. So, but it's pretty much
hey,
Saints.
the Gold
We
Coast
pretty much
is-
spoke to Saints, and then we just didn't speak to any other club.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise it would have been 17, mate. Yeah. But yeah, so pretty much this, they were the first sort of club, and we sort of made an agreement.
Yeah.
And then went from there.
So who was coaching then? I can't remember.
No, they sacked their coach, and then Rats took over.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I know you from an outsider perspective, and as I said, I followed your career so closely because of our connection, but that I can tell probably how frustrating those first couple of years were at Saints, not just for yourself, but just as a Saints fan, a supporter, player. Like, I remember you coming over and, as you said, winning a BnF at Fremantle, playing some of your best footy, to then come into a team that probably wasn't playing its best footy, and like they weren't able to use you as your strengths. Like, you're running, you know. I remember still actually to this day watching like a episode of like Footy Classified or something, and they showed like 40 clips of you being just like out in the open and just no one like hitting you at all. So I can imagine, like, you know, not to blame anything, but it was just a different.
It was frustrating a little bit. Even at Freo, it was sort of like, and sort of how Ross is, but like it was sort of known like, if I'm coming past, sort of give
Just
it, you
give
know
the,
what I mean?
yeah, give him the ball. So Ross was good.
Yeah,
with
Ross was good. Like, but like even like say like Fifey, he was so good. Like Fifey just like, if I got the ball, just come past, I'll give it to you, you know. So like I'd look for him, kick it to him, run past, get it again.
Yeah.
You know, like a couple of things, and then had pretty good connections with like some of the players like Sonny and those sort of boys, and even Mundy, like, you know. So I'd always get those little easy hit ups.
You've got to have it, man. And this is the thing there. You know, people might get frustrated, and it happens in the good teams. And you could maybe even talk to this at like the Hawthorn, where you're winning three-peats and how it works there. But like, I remember once at the Giants, and we're doing this drill, and Leon Cameron was like, no one, like, go through the corridor. And I remember like I went through the corridor and even just like hit the kick, and he's still like, mate, like, don't fucking do that. Like,
that
we don't
the
want to
game
do
plan.
it, right?
Yeah.
But then Witters had the ball, Josh Kelly had the ball, and they're all ripping it through, and he goes, no, they're allowed. Like, you know, like, and it's like, but that's just how you're like,
That's how
some guys are allowed to do certain things, and you just
100%.
have to, like, that's the way it works.
Yeah, and even like for us now, like in our backline, if you see Sinclair or
let
or
him cook, let him do it.
Yeah, or Wangani, Malira come past,
Yeah.
you give it to them, you know, and just
Yeah.
let them do that thing. But that's their strengths, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you want to give it to those, you know, the ball users and guys who can break lines and stuff like that. So if you see him, just give it.
Who was the biggest see it give it, like, at Hawks, that free period?
Mate, at Hawks, so, you know, like, when it's so hard because there's so many good kicks in the team.
Yeah, because
Like,
that was a real left footer.
Yeah,
era,
a lot of
wasn't
left
it? Like
footers.
Grant,
I thought, and we were very high uncontested marking team. You know, we'll make a lot of width, and you know, like in the back line, you would have like Birchall there who can kick the footy. Hodge would be there a fair bit. Burgoyne, like all these blokes out the back line. And then, you know, inside, Sam Mitchell's real good with his touch. You know, both sides. Jordan Lewis, good kick. Like, so you had like a lot of good kickers everywhere. So I think that sort of helped though, the way we were able to move the ball so smoothly and freely, and get out the back of teams pretty easily.
Off topic. If you had to go through your top 3 players of every club you've played at,
Yep.
teammates, like first 3 picked in it, like not like best mates, but like say if you're starting a team tomorrow and you want like 3 guys from each team you've played with, who would you be picking in those teams?
Jeez, that's hard, eh? The Hawthorn one's probably the hardest for me.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Well, you're probably taking, you're taking Buddy.
You take Bud. I reckon that's safe.
Yep. So either I take Sam Mitchell or Luke Hodge.
How do you got to take one of them? Like, who do you take? You've got to pick, man.
But then I'm like, if I want a small forward, I'm taking Cyril.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So like in this team, it doesn't matter around like you don't have to have a back, mid, and forward.
Yeah, I know
what
you mean. Yeah.
Like you can take Cyril, Bud, and then you got to pick either Sam or Hodge.
I'm taking Hodge. Sorry, Sammy.
Wow.
You know what though? What I love, like they're both great.
Yeah, how would you
on field too? But I think like Hodgie was good for everyone. Like, like just see how loud he was.
Yeah.
Especially for like me. But even Sam was similar like that as well. I remember like getting to the stoppages, and if he was too far away, he would just push me in. Like just being able to do that so effortless. Like
how crazy is this now? I don't know if you lived it, but for people listening through that, you've played with and been a part of and contributed to like some fucking crazy people. Like Sam Mitchell, who's probably, one of the most, at the moment, sitting on something that everyone's like, wow, what is he doing? And then Hodgie, obviously, what he's done at Hawks and Brisbane and how like rated he is. Like we had Fagan in here a few weeks ago and he said like, without a doubt, he didn't say without a doubt, but he said if you had to pick a player that, has been his favourite over the time, it would have to have been Luke Hodge.
Yeah.
So, like, can you explain the difference maybe in leadership and of...
I haven't had anyone nowhere near
him.
I think that's what made it so easy for me to get into, like, a team like Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Like and then go into other clubs, like... And it's like having the coaches out there,
Yeah.
Like, with, like, a lot of players, but obviously, especially Hodgie, but just how... He just saw the game so well. He was so vocal, where, like... You don't always get that at clubs, you know what I mean? So, especially as a young player, you can sometimes get a little bit confused. Like, even like in team defense, like, how am I going? Like, Hodge would always be like, on your toes here, like, look there, right, left, like, always that. It was always the eyes for you. So, it was pretty special in that way.
Crazy. Yeah, it's something that I think a lot of people, in leadership and stuff, I think it's a little bit maybe better now, but you think, we'll pick the best player to be the leader and they can be the captain. It's like, it's just not like that. Like, there's some guys that are just like, they're built that way to just, really help people out.
Yeah,
it's a learned skill over time, obviously.
100%. And I'll give you my Fremantle. My Fremantle?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, got some good players here. So I'll say Fifey.
Yeah.
Prime Fife was pretty amazing.
Prime Fife.
Lockie Neal.
Yeah.
Couple Brownlow medals there, Jill. My third one, I'll probably have to go with like Sonny was good, and then Sonny or Mundy. You know what I mean? Different players.
Different players.
Sonny, when I was there, like he was on fire. Like,
I remember like when
he was having 30 plus and kicked 6 goals like twice in one season.
I remember like
I'm like. No one does that.
No defender wanted to go play on Sonny.
Yeah. Like, and he'd go into midfield and then spit forward. Yeah. But
Mundy somehow, just in terms of stepping up in big games and like that calmness, like I'm not comparing him to Hodge, but I think like on a, Hodge is the star in that sense. But Mundy, from someone who doesn't know him, sense to me is like that cool, calm guy.
He's
on
sort
the
of
field.
like Pendles a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably a better.
They're both sort of like they look like they're slow.
No, they're slow, but they slow down the game.
Yeah, slow down the game, and both beautiful kicks. Like he was the best one. He was the best kicker on there.
Yeah, that game Monday when
he kicked the goal.
Yeah, he kicked the goal.
Fifey,
Neil.
Neil kicked it to him. Yeah,
that was hectic.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, so those three, they're pretty unreal players.
Yeah. What about at the moment, Saints? It's probably maybe even more on potential. Like you got a lot of good young players there at the moment. Like who do you think?
Obviously, Sinclair's been like unreal.
Been huge. Yeah.
Wilkie, like he's like 1-on-1. He's that good. He never loses. So, but like some of the young boys coming through, like you probably watched a few, but like Nazaya Wanganeen, like he's so smooth, man. He's the best kick
smooth.
too.
He actually reminds me a lot of yourself and your brother, like the way he sort of like moves.
Yeah.
But he's I've said this a lot on Footy and Friends. Aesthetically, the number 7 on his back suits him better than any player. Like it just looks so good.
Yeah, he's like.
What's he like? Is he a quiet dude?
Yeah, very quiet. Yeah. But like he's starting to speak out a fair bit more. Like him, like he's a smart boy too. Like he's switched on.
Yeah.
But he's got to be, and then like Mitchy Owens, I think he can be pretty special. And then like Mateo started showing some stuff.
Yeah.
End of last year, and like he has all the athletic ability and size and stuff. Just
Darcy.
Darcy Wilson.
Darcy Wilson's going to be a good player as well.
Nah, he's that good at running, man. He's a freak runner.
Is he beating you?
Mate, well, like last year, I just got him by like 1 second. But like on game day, normally the high speed stuff, I'll never get anyone like close to me. Like it beats me every week. Like he's crazy. Like he's a repeat efforts, and then his overall distance is like crazy. Like he's a weapon, man.
Break that down, because I've tried to explain this before, but I actually think it's really interesting around the GPS stuff. So like when you walk in the club on like a Monday, how the GPS is broken. So obviously there's like kilometres, which in a game, what would be your average? Like
I'm probably close to like 15.
15, yeah. What's the most you've ever done?
16 something.
16. Yeah. So that's nearly
at the
4Ks.
MCG. When you're at the MCG, I always do a bit more.
Yeah, wow. So 4Ks a quarter, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then a part of that, I think it's a speed over like 21 kilometres or something.
I think you might have above 15, above 20 and above 25.
Okay.
So, so you get the breakdown. So like, say if you're getting above 20, so I think it's VSH R or whatever, VSH, and then you got above 25, which is you wouldn't get. Some blokes might not get any in above 25. Well, they might get like a little bit, maybe like 100 metres or whatever. But
so like a full back might run 12Ks, but might have 100 metres of like that high intensity running.
I remember David Hale sometimes would have 20 metres in it.
There you go. So 20 metres of sprinting. How much of that would yourself and Darcy be running in a game?
I think my most is like 900 metres in that. But then in the above 20, I'm normally like 2.5Ks to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Darcy's about 3. Yeah.
It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So back to relationship with Ross. We hear so much about Ross. Mickey Barlow's on the show. Did you cross over with Mick at Freo?
Nah, I didn't cross over with Mick, but obviously like my brother's there, so I knew everyone, you know.
Yeah.
So like, there would have been times when we would have definitely had a few beers together.
For sure. What's Ross like with you? Like you've spoken about just before around that confidence he's sort of given you when coming back. Like when did you know that even the opportunity of him potentially coming back to St Kilda was something on the horizon?
To be honest, I was actually, even before he had the job, like I actually caught up with him a couple of times when I was struggling throughout the year.
Yeah, right.
Like he came around for just like a dinner, and it was like there's no hope, like there was nothing even happening because I don't think until the off season when they did like their review, but and then there was sort of like chats that he was coming. So, and then once I knew that, I was pretty stoked for that to happen. To be honest, but yeah, we just sort of obviously started when I went to Freo. Had a pretty good relationship, and I kept in contact with him. And I think even when I was struggling, he was always a bit of a voice for me in the media. So we've always just kept that relationship, and sort of having him there. Sort of, it's just so easy for me to go up. I just go in his office. We have chats all the time, and about anything on and off the field. And he's been awesome for me.
But not a lot of players can do that with Ross. I don't feel like
some of the boys make me go up and go talk to us.
So why do you think like that? Like, do you think that with him, like obviously you've done the time with him and you've performed at, as you said, with Freo, the BnF and all those things, you build trust and rapport with the coach. Yeah. And you can have those conversations that, they build over a time. But what would, other guys like be petrified of Ross to go and have a chat with him?
But I think as well though,
why is that?
I think as well though, in the last since he's been there, Ross has actually been pretty open. Like if you guys want to come in the office, you can come and have a chat. But I think because I've got a good relationship, like I just go in there and just like talk a bit of shit with him. It might not even be about footy. I'll just go in there and it's like just talk to him and about whatever it is, and even if it's for advice or whatever. So I don't know, we just get along pretty well, and it was just go in there, and I think. Some of the older boys or leaders were like, ask Ross, we can change this, They'll go through me. But, it's great to happen there.
St Kilda for 2025, what's the goals? Like where, you've been to September. Again, we still haven't spoken about the flags yet, but like you know what it takes to sort of get there to the end. Like where do you see the club at the moment?
We're
like,
definitely building. Felt like, especially even the end of last year, like I think we won 5 out of the last 6. This took us a little bit of time to get things working, to see our game plan and working that out. And another summer has definitely got to help us. But I think the growth's got to come from like the younger players, like I said, like Naz, Mitchy Owens, Mateus, like all these younger boys coming through. Like any club, we've got a big core of younger boys coming through and that are playing every week. So the growth from them has got to take us to that next level. And we got the older boys that are perform pretty consistently. So get that improvement from them. Get Jack McRae, the club's got to be good for us inside. And just get everyone fit and healthy and putting their hand up. And obviously Maxi King was injured last year, so hopefully we can get a good year out of him. And as we say, anything's possible, mate. And
you never know.
Definitely looking forward to getting back into it.
Okay. It'd be remiss of us not to talk about the three-peat just quickly because it's amazing times. First one against defeated Freo, actually.
Yeah.
So
didn't lose, mate.
Defeated Freo, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Did your brother play in that?
Yeah.
Wow.
We started on the wing with each other. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. There's a bit of media around it because we were the first brothers to play each other in like 105 years.
How was that for the family and that as well? Like that would have been pretty weird.
It was cool. Like mum had like a half jumper of half of each, like Freo and a Hawks on. And she wasn't going to lose either way. But no, it was cool because we actually lined up at each other. The first centre bounce, we're both on the wing, and then like we had a couple little ball went into the boundary, a little hit with each other and that. And I guess like it was great to play against my brother, but at the same time, I remember at the end, like you celebrate and how happy you are, but then also like the emotions of your brother. You sort of feel a bit sorry for him, and sort of after that, I was like, hopefully he can win one in his career, but they are so hard, and it's hard to get back there. So it was special though to play against him and for the family as well.
That one out of the three seems like the one that was nearly the hardest. Like
and especially if they kicked straight early. I think they kicked 4 on the full in the first quarter.
Valentine and Fife missed a couple. Like they were hard shots, but like they was Fremantle. Were quite on in that game.
Yeah, they were. And that third quarter, because we were up by a bit, and they came back to like 5 or 6 points.
Think now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't something happen in that game around with Sam Mitchell learnt something from years before where maybe he'd been a bit more selfish,
selfless,
but like he was
being when he was getting tagged.
Yeah,
So and that we did like after the game, like going back a few years now, but just like it is. Didn't worry about him getting the ball. It was just like, how can I help a teammate? Like,
so
especially
because
he
was going to him.
Yeah. So in stoppages, he'll just make 1v2s, like stuff like that, freeing up someone, giving blocks, So he definitely. I think maybe 08 he got tagged as well.
Yeah.
And maybe he wasn't doing that. And then 13, he knew what he had to do for the team to win.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I don't know if this is actually verbatim, but it was something around like Clarko even and him having hard conversations saying like,
this is what you need to do.
Yeah, like this is what you need to do.
They knew he was coming, definitely.
You fucked up. Like, this is what you need to do going forward. That may or may not be true, but I feel like it actually is. But I don't want to.
That probably would have happened.
The next year, 2014. So that was a bit of a pump in against the Swans. So that was the year Buddy left as well.
Yeah.
What were your memories of him leaving? Like, did you?
To be honest, because I only had like the 2 years with him.
Yeah. Was it a big thing though at the club thinking like? I still remember thinking he was going to the Giants. And
it was obviously a big chat because he was in the paper probably every week in Melbourne. And then obviously he would have had pretty much a deal done dusted pretty early on probably. But, it was good for him to win a flag and then ship off. And I still remember to this day, he had like this jar in his locker. And like when he left, I was in the change room. So he just gave me this jar. It was like full of coins and money. I was like, thanks, mate. I was a young fella. Any golds in here? But then obviously he left and we played him the following year. But I think as well playing Sydney that year, there was a lot of build up about, 2012 when they beat us.
Yeah.
So like a bit of a revenge game. So we played some unreal footy, and it's when you win like easily in a grand final for a player.
Yeah.
It's more enjoyable. Like going into the last quarter,
You're just getting a bit of
it's
jump
sealed.
time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit of like
Yeah.
bit of carry on, but it's awesome because you're sort of like taking the crowd and like, oh, how good is this?
Is there any moments that like stand out to you? Because the first one being obviously a lot tighter, second one bit of a blowout, third one against West Coast, and again 40 odd points, playing against like big moments in games that like we wouldn't have necessarily seen on the TV, but like even roles and stuff like that, were they really rewarded behind the scenes, or even roles that you played on that game that stand out to you, like moments in the games?
Yeah, we used to always like show that sort of stuff, even like at footy clubs, even like that sacrificial sort of running, breaking that open space for someone else to get used. Like I still even remember one play, like it was a quick point kick, and then Paul Piopolo. So point got kicked and they'll go into the open side, and like this is reaction time, and he was able to like get him done, and then Hodgie came through, took the mark, kicked the goal, and it was like if it wasn't for Poppy, I'm pretty sure that was a bay.
Yeah,
or like Poppy, end up it's just like it did a 40-meter run, but just how quick he reacted, and it's just like got a goal for us. You know, it's like little things like that, and they definitely, like footy clubs, when you win, they always showing, the big tackles. Like I remember Hanbury got smashed a few times, like Ruffy, Bruce got him, like, it looked like it might have been a target, but it wasn't. It was just in the wrong spot. Yeah, pretty much so.
Then 2015, 3 in a row, as you said, against West Coast, like you 3 in a row, just like you must be still on cloud 9.
And like I remember like 15. I probably that year as well, sort of a little bit inconsistent. So like, and me and Billy Hartung were both playing on the wing. I think he even played in the prelim, so I was sort of close, like who was going to play that one as well. I reckon. So not many people probably would know that, but 15. I guess winning that one was. I think I took that one in the most, like after the game, like post game, like because it goes pretty quick. Like it's a bit of a blur. And I remember this, like I was like, make sure I bring GoPro. So like, I haven't even watched it all fully, but like I got the GoPro and just sort of took it around the whole. It goes for like an hour, but like just like those little memories, and then getting down into the change rooms, and we used to always sing horses after the game. So it was this, I guess the celebrating afterwards is just as special as the game.
100%. What else, mate, in terms of Bradley Hill off the football field? We've obviously spoken a lot about that, but what are like interests? I know you're big into like your photography and stuff at some stage. Like,
I'll go through little stages here and there. I used to. I don't have enough time now. Like with the kids, any spare time I got, I'm at home with the family, and now I've got two. Like I think my priority is spend as much time with my family as I can, and I think that's what I enjoy the most, being around with my family. Like it's just so rewarding, and you just see how your kids are and watching them grow, and the smiles and laughs. Like there's no better feeling. So that's what I love doing the most in my spare time.
Funny. I don't know if you can relate to this, but like in the morning sometimes when I leave, I'm like, fuck, I got to get out of here. Like this is hectic. And then as soon as you walk out the door, you're just like, oh.
Miss you.
I miss you. I want to go back. It's a hard
100%.
Like, you drop them off at daycare.
But then I used to go, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Like I dropped her off at daycare on the way here.
Yeah.
And like she's crying, like, I don't want to go. And she's like, I feel so guilty, you know? But like, I know she has fun when she's there.
Yeah, mate. I cried till about year 7, I think, when I was going to school.
But it is like, kids they can be hard at times. But you get so much enjoyment out of them.
So locking in now for are you sort of basically, are you back at training yet?
I start Monday.
Far out.
Yeah, time trial, mate. You got to hold the title.
Do you reckon? So who's the only competitor that could beat Darcy?
Darcy Wilson beat.
Yeah.
Like I only beat him by 1 second last year, so he's got another preseason under his belt, so he might get me. And I'm getting older, mate. If he doesn't get me, I'm saying, what's wrong with these young kids?
You almost need to let him win to boost their egos, the young boys, and just get them going.
There's actually a couple of good runners. Like Hugo Garcia can run as well.
Yeah. No, we need to be able to run. And then besides that, just Christmas, family, getting.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I was going to go to Perth, but I'm going to stay in Melbourne for Chrissy, and then I'll head over to Perth in February because we've got like that Indigenous All-Star game.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll have like a camp and that.
So is that playing against Fremantle?
Yeah, against Freo. So that'll be pretty cool.
When's that?
I think it's the 15th of February.
Okay, so pre-season.
Yeah, so they'll class as your pre-season game. Instead of playing for your club,
you play that game.
If you're in the Indigenous game,
that's going to be sick.
That's your game, and we'll play at Optus Stadium.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can pick the best team that we can put
That's
on
pretty
paper.
special. So have you already spoken to people about that? Like, is that already in the works?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
who's
So like
coaching and stuff?
all the I don't know if it's fully coming, but I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Maybe we'll-
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm meant to talk about
Yeah,
who's.
yeah.
Oh no, they might have. No, it's Raf Xavier. No, who coaches? Xavier or Raf Clark?
You're in the team, mate. so
No,
I'm
but I
not
mean,
sure.
like, who coaches in the AFL?
I'm pretty sure it's Raf.
Yeah.
He was at Richmond?
Yeah, Raf.
Yeah. I think it's Xavier, actually, now that I think about it.
One of the Clark brothers. They look the same to me. And then like I'm not sure who else will be a part of it, but maybe like Eddie and that will probably be
Cool.
helping out a little bit. And
That's pretty cool to have that back in the pre-season, which would be pretty sick.
yeah, it'll be good. Hopefully we can get a good team put together.
Yeah.
We need because we're pretty small, the Indigenous voice. So in our back line, we definitely
Who's your sort of tallest?
in our back line we need Alex Pearce and Stephen
you got
May playing.
Pearce
And Stephen May.
and Maisie, yeah.
We need them
Have you got
playing,
any
but-
key forwards?
No, but we've got a lot of small forwards.
Just get the ball to ground.
Get the
Just
ball to
ball
ground. I feel sorry for him defending those, like, you know.
Do you reckon Bobby will get a game, or maybe just
Bobby
emergencies?
Will play. He'll play. It'll be like Bobby, Charlie, Cozzy, Shay. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Bobby might not.
He might be on the bench.
He might be on the bench.
He'll be angry hearing that. Might have him as an emergency sub.
Yeah, I think he'll be emergency. Yeah.
But the ruckman might be the hardest spot for us to fill.
Okay,
Maybe I'll join.
let's work. Yeah, maybe bring back the old third man up.
Or Jezza Finlayson, he's got some height.
He's got some height. Yeah, big dorsal.
Yeah.
He's got some height.
Oh, Jamara Ugo-Hagel will be our key forward.
Of course.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. We got one.
Mate, that's going to be super cool to see that all come together.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good for sure.
Very good. Hey, Bradley, so good to catch up, mate.
You too.
14 years, 15 years down the track. And, mate, I've loved seeing what you've done, not just on the field, but off the field, with your family, your footy, everything. Can't wait to see what you're going to do post-footy. Do you have any ideas?
I've done a few things.
Yeah.
And I've got a few little things on the go now. I did a little bit of work at a school, at Haileybury.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't mind maybe I could go in the space like, you know, Indigenous sort of space at a footy club.
Yep.
Like I'm going to do like a course there this year.
The welfare manager.
Welfare
stuff?
manager. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I got some other things that I'm working through at the moment.
Nice.
So see how that goes, mate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
keep you posted.
The stuff around, and I know from speaking to Claire White actually at St Kilda around like the Indigenous welfare stuff. Apparently St Kilda's like
Annika
programs,
Trina's, she's awesome. That's Carl Amon's mum.
Yeah, Carl Amon's mum. Yeah, I've heard about that.
She's been awesome for us.
Yeah, which is really cool. Mate, thank you for your time. You're an absolute star.
Thanks for
Can't
having
wait
me,
to see what
mate.
the Saints do this year, and looking forward to another 3 years of Bradley Hill running around. That's for sure.
Perfect.
Good
Thank
on
you.
brother. Well done.
Cheers.